What is going on today, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Today's video, we're talking about aspects again, but don't worry, we're not ranking them. We're not talking about them like that again. We're talking about balance with them, because some of them, very, very good, very, very fun. Some of them, not so good, not so fun. So I'm going to just tell you guys what I think about the aspect, how I would buff it and how I would nerf it, or if I would keep it the exact same. Starting with Anhur, I think this one's going to need a little bit of a nerf. The attack speed you get up to early game is unbelievable. I was down 3 levels to Zatman in a ranked game, and you would think that I would just get killed off cooldown. Well, no, he jumped on me with no wave in sight, and I just autoed him down, and my attack speed got so high that I just shredded him. It is just too much attack speed. I think the high end is too high, and I think every stack is too much. I think it should be 5% less probably per stack, or maybe even 10% per stack, but allow it to stack a couple more. It's just way, way too high as is. But the other issue is Anhur is so weak right now that maybe you bring up the rest of his kit to match how good the aspect of pride makes him. I mean, you could do that too, but I think you just compare like the passive versus aspect of pride. It's not close how much better the attack speed is. Athena, they just buffed this aspect, giving you the shield when you land. While I think that is a nice buff, the shield value is a lot of it based on your max health. When you're building this aspect, you're not going to be building much max health. You're a jungler most of the time. Or maybe, I guess, solo lane Athena with this aspect could be a little bit better. The issue is, though, most of the time, you're not controlling where you're going. You ult onto somebody, they could dash away, bring you under tower. They could sprint away and then have 5 people collapse on you. They could ult away if they're playing something like Thanatos or Thor. Like, there's a lot of counterplay into this ultimate. Most of the time, even now, you're getting more value out of the other aspect, or the no aspect of Athena, where you're ult to allies, give them movement speed, give them a health shield. I think it has to do a little bit of damage. Does it have to be a ton? No, but I think you need to do a little bit of damage so that you can at least contribute to a kill or get somebody a little bit lower so you can actually win that fight. Otherwise, I think it's going to be like never a reason to play the Athena aspect. Bacchus aspect, I think this was perfect. I wouldn't touch it. I'm a really big fan. I was confused about this one when I first read it, where I thought it was just one auto attack, but it's auto attacks as long as your chug is active, which is 6 seconds. So you have 6 seconds of auto attacks. I think this is a very, very good aspect. I think it's good and balanced, and I'm a fan of it. And I don't think it mitigates how good actual Bacchus is. I think there's value to both of them. Aspect of Vindication. The issue with this one isn't that this one is bad. It's just either one, you're playing her in support, or 2, you're playing her in solo lane with a worse aspect. Like, Bellona's not a support. Even if you give her this aspect, she's just not very good. Maybe there's some tech with going like Arrow's Bow and then also having Scourge out and just healing your teammates a lot. Maybe there's something there, but I've not seen it work. I don't think it's very good. And to be honest, I don't really know how you change this one up to make it any better. Maybe there's some like support Athena jungle build that you can play that makes this feel a little bit better, because the problem in support is you're less resources, so you have less gold and you have less XP, so you have less farm, so you're less tanky, so you have less attack speed, so you're getting less auto attacks off in a team fight. That's the issue. I don't think it's very good, and I honestly don't know how you fix this one really. Certain aspect of Strife, not touching it. I'm not touching it. I think this one's awesome. The one thing you could maybe do to make Cern jungle a little bit better is you make Horn Charge deal like 10-15% more damage, because I actually think this is really good in solo lane. I think it's bad in jungle. So yeah, actually 50% more damage or 50% more scaling, maybe strength scaling could be a good idea, I guess. We'll say 50% more strength scaling, because you're not really getting that in solo lane, and it'll just buff it in jungle. Either way though, this one's a lot of fun. Chaac aspect of fulmination. I am a fan of this one, and I wouldn't touch it. I was really worried there was going to be a break point where Chaac would just 1-3 the wave and there was nothing you could do to counter it, and he would just clear. But it's almost like they found a nice spot where you can't do that to clear, but your damage is also pretty threatening. On the build guide that's coming out this week, you guys will see what I've cooked up with this. I think it's actually really good. Do I think it's better than just normal Chaac most of the time? Probably not, but I do think it's a fun new way to play him that also is not bad. Cupid aspect of love. This is cool. This is a cool, good change to Cupid, because I also think this just makes him a really good 1v1 character, even outside of him in support. Like, I saw Haddix play aspect of love Cupid solo, and it looked really good. Like, I'm a fan of Cupid with this aspect. I'm a fan of Cupid actually after his changes too, but I'm a fan of where it's at. I think it's balanced. I'm a fan. Don't change it. Another one that might be a little hot of a take. I think this one is balanced, and I think people have not unlocked how good Aspect of Fellowship is on Danzaburou. Yes, losing out on the CC is not great, but the amount of damage that you get from this passive or from this aspect is insane. He becomes like an actual hyper carry character, combining how much like damage is getting blocked by this, also with his 3 giving him mitigations. Even though it doesn't say it, I literally just went to check it because I was confused if it wasn't like in there. He does get mitigations in his 3. So you combine the mitigations in his 3 with the amount of auto attacks getting blocked by the Aspect of Fellowship. I actually think this is a really, really good hyper carry aspect. Don't change it. Fenrir, I think I'm a fan of this one. The one thing I want is that even if it means the slow has to be decreased just a tiny bit, like the stacking slow, the damage is decreased too much. Part of the strength of Fenrir is your threat in lane with your damage. With Aspect of Loyalty, your threat's basically gone, and you kind of become like a weird setup character that has no good CC. Like your jump is CC, but it's not quick. And then your ultimate is a 100-second cooldown, 110-second cooldown that you're not able to use too often. So I think it is a good aspect. I would just slightly shift how it works. More damage, less slow. Geb, Aspect of Calamity. Scale it just a tiny bit more. This scaling at 50% makes it so this aspect is just useless. The CC is better. Most of the time, Geb's one-shot potential comes if you're playing him full tank or full one-shot Geb. It comes from poly, not just his actual damage. Make Aspect of Calamity scale with 10% more intelligence, maybe 15% more, and I think we have a good spot for Geb. Hecate, complete fan of this. If you guys want to watch a phenomenal game, either Friday or Saturday on my Twitch VOD, I played a Hecate solo game, which I was unkillable, and I did like 81,000 damage, and nobody else did even close to that amount of damage. Matter of fact, I'm going to put it on the second channel. I think it was such a good, funny game. On the Inbound 2 channel, if you guys are curious, I'm going to put that Hecate game. You guys can check that out. This one's a lot of fun. I'm a fan of it. Big fan. 10 out of 10. Hercules. Hate this one. Probably my least favorite aspect in the entire game. I think you get very, very, very little value from the heal off the basic attacks with the 3. The problem is, I don't know exactly how you're going to balance with this one outside of just making the heal from every basic attack higher. You're getting 10 at level 1 points into your 3, and then you're getting 5 more heal for every auto attack. So level 5, it'll be 30 health per auto attack that you and your teammates take. Most of the time, your teammates aren't taking that many autos, so you're really not getting that much healing. I don't know how you're balancing it. Like I said, I would probably just change this one. I'm just not a fan of it. Khepri. I'm actually a fan of this one. I don't know if it's like maybe a bias or something, but I think Khepri's aspect in support, I think, is so OP. It gives him damage threat, and it gives him a good 2v2 laning phase because of how much damage he actually does. His level 2 in laning phase is broken. Look at this. I wouldn't even build any damage. This is a pretty normal early build. This is a level 1, but say you clear lane first, and then you have your 1-2. Just by myself, I did nearly 300 damage as a support Khepri. I think it's broken in support. I think it's like fun in solo lane, and there's maybe some build that you can work out. I'll have a solo lane build for Khepri out, and you guys can try it and let me know what you think. I think you're really reliant on Lifebinder, but I do think it's a fun way to play Khepri. Loki. This one I think is one that I'll have to test more because it doesn't really feel good, but I solo queue a lot. So I'm solo queuing with this aspect. It doesn't really feel like I'm getting much of the value from the invis. So I'm towards it, but I also think in like competitive or in high level ranked games where you're duo queued with somebody, this one could be really good. So I'll say leave it for now, but that could change if I think it's bad or good. Mordred aspect of range. This one is literally so good. A lot of people want this to be his base kit, and I can't disagree. This is awesome. It is so much fun to play. Try it. Neith aspect of win. I'll be honest, this is the one single aspect in the game I've not tried yet on this patch. I tried it on when we were originally testing the aspects like a month and a half ago. It seemed really good. The issue I have with it is that to get the proc of World Weaver getting more auto attack speed, you basically just insta ult in a team fight, so you're not getting like any World Weaver value. I think it's good, and I wouldn't change it. So I guess it's fine, but is it better than like base Neith? Kind of. I don't know. I'm towards it. Nemesis. This one is probably one I've changed my opinion on the most. I think this one's a blast. I think it's fun, and I think it's pretty balanced. It's interesting because playing this aspect is literally the meme of or the quote or whatever, if you're gonna shoot at me, you better kill me, whatever that is. Because if you don't kill the Nem, if you leave her 10% health, she'll drop ult on you, heal for 700, pop her 3, have a 300 shield. You damage that shield, she gets another 300 heal. She'll literally just win any 1v1. And that leaves her to kind of just play it awkward, where it's like, I'm going to poke you down and damage you a little bit. But if you try to do that to me, then I'm just going to ult you if you're winning. It's a really cool, fun aspect to play around with. And it's really fun, the mind games with you and whoever you're fighting. Raw, no surprise, keep it. 10 out of 10. This is my favorite. Maybe I've said that already. This one's my favorite. Thanatos. Maybe I've said this before, but this one's my favorite. Don't change anything with this one. I love this one.
Wait a minute.
This is my favorite. My only issue with Aspect of Mischief for the Morrigan is that you can't stop her from teleporting. Like, you can't kill her minion. I think you have to give like 3 hit points to her minions, where abilities and autos proc it, or maybe 4 and abilities and autos proc it, because there has to be a way to like outplay it. With her 3, there's the counterplay of if you hit her as soon as she uses the invis, you break her invis. With her 3, it's you have to CC her for 5 seconds if you don't want her to teleport. It's just impossible. I think you have to be able to kill the minion. But yeah, that's what I would do to balance the aspects. Again, these are phenomenal. This is literally part of the reason Smite 2 is so great. I love most of them, and I'm a big fan, and I'm excited to see what they do with the rest of them. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have watched today. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.